Keep it simple, sister. Hi, Sam.
Hi there, Diana. How are you?
I am fabulous. And you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Again, we've been talking to each other for, let's say an hour and a half before we got started on this, but that's okay.
Yeah,
It always makes it better.
yeah, because we weren't really discussing this stuff. It was everything else we want to talk about.
True, true, true.
So welcome to our podcast. Our podcast, just to remind everybody, this is all about feeling great by feeling better. And what it's all about is Diana and I sharing all these all these tips, tricks, techniques, things that we've learned over the years that we've integrated into our lives that have made things so much more easier, more like it's caused us to be more resilient, more upbeat, happy, uh, and just all around nice people to be around.
Yeah. We're a little light. We shine a little light everywhere.
What is this? This little light of
And I'm
mine.
gonna let it shine.
Oh my
I
God.
I think it's nice. I hope that our listeners slash viewers like when we do our little musical interludes because I can't help myself.
It just bursts forth.
It does. It does.
All
All
right. So
right.
we have
Well,
a
let's.
really cool episode today that we're going to share some really neat stuff so you guys got to listen up. We're going to do our regular program, but I just want to hype you up. You got to pay attention to the positive path today because we're going to be introducing something really cool for you to get involved in that's going to affect the rest of your year.
Yes. And so since it's Happy New Year, I hope it's Happy New Year when this is happening. We think it is.
Yes.
Hopefully. All right. Well, what we usually start with is the flip side. And the flip side is when something happens that you're not real thrilled about. So it's a little contrasty, little challenging, little some people might think of it as a negative something or just something kind of off.
Mhm.
And then we use just our positivity and we try and look for something that is good that can come out of whatever this contrast is. Okay, so my flip side, not
Uh-huh.
my positive, my flip side, it has to do with my husband. And I mean, lots of things have to do with my husband, but if you've been watching us for a while, you know he had a stroke and then he had another stroke. When he had the first stroke, he could. When you have a stroke, they take away your driver's license until you prove that you can drive. And so he was working on his vision with vision therapy for quite some time.
Mhm.
We thought that he wasn't really making as much progress as we were hoping. I was afraid that he wasn't going to be able to drive, which, of course, that sucks. I mean, it's terrible. Like it takes away your independence. It's just really hard. Um, so when he had the second stroke, that actually got insurance to pay for more vision therapy. So that was a flip side. I mean, nobody wants somebody to have a second stroke, but had he not had it, that might have been the cutoff point for his, driving journey.
Yeah. So there's a
So,
benefit out of that one.
yeah, so he got to do more vision therapy. And so we just met with the doctor the other day, and she has released him. So she says that she thinks that he probably can drive, which is so, so exciting. I mean, I can't even
Scary
tell
for
you
the
how
rest of us
exciting
on the
that is.
road.
Yes, yes. Um, and maybe not on 95 or on a busy highway, but definitely, locally, whatever. And the issue, what is processing speed? Like, does he see a car coming out fast enough to react to it or reaction speed, that kind of thing? So the next step is that he goes to occupational therapy that specializes in driving. So that happened just this week, and I'm very excited about it. But all of that could have been, oh my God, my life is over. I have to drive him everywhere. He's depressed because he can't have
Mhm.
any independence. Like we could have focused on what a bummer the whole thing is. But all the way through, there was hope. Everything's always working out for us. And if he can't drive, then there's a reason for that. And we're going to work with it and we're going to figure it out. but it's exciting that the prospect is still there and the hope is still alive. So stay tuned. But I really do think one of the things she said was
Mm.
there are these weird tests, like it's a piece of paper and it has 1 2 3 4 on one side and ABCD, and it's lines, and without taking your finger on the lines you have to match up, one goes to B or two goes to whatever. And so it's a series of these swoopy things. And one of them is, if she equated it to driving in your neighborhood. If you can do this one, the simplest one,
Uh-huh.
driving in your neighborhood, because there's really probably not something coming at you that you have to really notice that much. Another one is like back roads where there, you might see a tractor, but you're probably not going to see very many other cars. Another one is, like downtown near where you are, but not at rush hour. And then it's at rush hour. And then it's on 95 or 695 near us is the Baltimore Beltway, which is crazy, crazy town.
Yeah.
So she feels very confident that he can do everything up to crazy, crazy town. So that's exciting. That's very exciting.
That's like,
So
and the fact that someone was able to come up with that test,
I know.
determine like what's lighting up the
Well,
neural
and she
pathway.
said that those tests, are an indicator for her, but she's had people in the past that because they've been driving for so long, it
Mhm.
comes back. Like it's muscle memory of how to do things, even if on that test it didn't show it. He's driven an hour and a half to work through Washington, D.C. 2 times a day for the whole time that we've been married. So he's got muscle memory of people doing crazy stuff everywhere. So he may even be better than what we think he's going to be. So that's exciting. So stay tuned. So that's my flip side.
I think that's a really good flip side.
Yeah, it
All
really
very
is.
exciting.
Yes.
Um, okay, so my flip side is I wear a lot of different hats. So I wish that I was just doing my intuitive life coaching work and that was it. Um, I, I have come to realize, and I'm going to talk more about this on social media because it's been like a pain point for me that
Mhm.
for people doing this kind of work, we can only give so much of ourselves in the day. There's only like I can only do so many appointments because then I'm wrung out. And we also have to keep ourselves mentally, emotionally, and physically fit to a certain degree in order to be present and do the work that we do. And I know that there's therapists, I know there's counselors out there, and I know that there are mediums, intuitives and so forth that will take client after client. I don't feel like I don't know how, like most people end up raising their prices and they get to a point, so that they can only have to take a few clients a day. But
Yeah.
then a lot of people can't afford you anymore. Like
Right.
so the people that really need you can't access you.
Well, and you wonder if those people are really giving it their all.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like I know because I've seen you and been in situations where I can see the energy being kind of sapped out of you because you're giving it your all. And
Uh-huh.
if they're not, then is their client really getting the best of them? And I
Yeah.
know for you, that's very important for you
Yeah. And I don't
to
want to
give
put
your clients the best of you and and
yeah.
and to be effective in what you're doing.
And I know some people can do that and they can do it, they have that ability, but I know more people who can't do that. And so what we do is we have to spread out the different things we do. So I've always been doing the intuitive work, and but I graduated with a degree in public relations, so I've always done marketing, and in the marketing aspect, web design, hosting, all this tech, a lot of tech work,
Yeah.
which is really cool because it exercises the other side of my brain.
Well,
And then
and we both know that you complete me on that for sure because I don't have that skill set at all.
so I've always done the marketing, which I've always done the marketing for my mother who's in real estate, and she needed more of my help, so I got my real estate license like 7, 8 years ago now, And so and me being an intuitive combined with, like the years of experience I've had working with people and all this, um, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good at doing realtor stuff. And on top of it, the other hat I wear is that my husband wanted me to back him up in photography. So I do residential architectural photography and event photography and videos. So I do a lot of different things,
Yeah, you do.
which is good. And all of those things, and the stuff I was going to talk about on social media, it has to do with the fact that I have to be present for all of that. Some of
Yeah.
it I have to give more of myself. I have to be more primed for it. Others I can sit back and, it's a little bit easier for, but I have to show up for all of that.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say this real quick. And that's why, like when people see me doing any kind of affiliate marketing kind of stuff, I do that kind of stuff because it it can help bring in a source of income that I don't have to be primed and up for. It's just this flow that comes in. And
Yeah.
so because everything I do pretty much requires for me to be up and present, I just try to do it flexible enough that it's different energy coming in. So anyway, I was wearing all that to say, I was wearing my realtor hat the other day, and I was actually taking out a former uh, intuitive client of mine, and it's the first time we've gotten together to show her real estate. And right now, it's just figuring out what areas would be of interest to her, and and I know the area really well, and it's fun to show people around, and so I was sitting here going, okay, like I was pulling myself out of this marketing for my spiritual work and stuff, and having to put this other hat on my head and create this tour, and and it was kind of jarring to go through, and there was a bit of stress because I hadn't had a tour for a while. And I explained that to her because the technology even changed since like last spring. I had not done a tour since last spring. So the technology changed. So I knew that when we got to the doorway of the house I was going to show her, I was going to have to hopefully have it go smoothly, but I might have to call for backup, phone a
Uh-huh.
friend. And of course, it went 9 ways to Sunday. Mercury's in retrograde, and it was just the first place was a fluke because the thing wasn't working right. The lockbox thing, it wasn't
Uh-huh.
working right. But it wasn't me. It was actually the lockbox. They had had problems with it before, and I was going, okay, it's not me, thank God. But anyway, so it's, I and she's such a lovely person. I really, really enjoy her company. But again, it was jarring for me to switch around. And so here we're getting to know each other in a different way, and I'm starting to show her around. And the whole time I was going, okay, I'd been procrastinating doing this tour because I had so much other stuff to do. So, you know how you feel that stress and you feel that pressure, and
Yeah.
it is hard in the moment. You're very human. So it's hard to stop and go, everything's always working out for me. I get it. Like Diana and I don't make mean to make it sound like, oh, we just do that like poof, Mary Poppins and everything's great. There is a little bit of the struggle because when you have those emotions, when you feel the struggle, that's when you start going, okay, what's going on? What do I need to ease up? So, anyway, I go into this and I end up having the loveliest day. Like it was so much fun, such a genuine connection. I adore working with this person. I so much want to find her like her next best home, like her forever home. It
Uh-huh.
was so cool. And then on top of it, I'm like in a location that's far away from my house. And I know in between where I am and where my home is, there is the Crow Bar. And the Crow Bar is this wine and beer bar inside the Kroger grocery store. And it's
I think that's hilarious.
yeah, they want you to drink, like, they're like, "Do you wanna take it to go?" And, like, they have cup holders in the cart so you can drink as you shop. And, I asked my
Oh,
girl,
I would be buying so much more if I was drinking as I was shopping because
"It's
3
deadly."
sheets to the wind, give me everything, I don't care.
It's so freaking clever.
That's
And,
funny.
but, like, you can get a really like Rodney Strong, you can get a really nice, glass of wine for $5, where if you go to the restaurant next door, it would be like $13.
Okay.
So
Bargain.
it's very dangerous. And so I knew, like, going into it, I had texted a friend of mine saying, "Hey, do you want to meet me at the Crowbar when I'm done with this?" And she was all for it. And so here I'd had this lovely day, and then I got to connect with a friend of mine who I hadn't seen for a while, and it was just everything's always working out for me.
Well, and I think you made a good point when you said it's not La La Land, I love how you said Mary Poppins. Like it's not like that. It's when it's stop and realize that something's off, not right, whatever, but you have to remind yourself it's going to be okay. Everything's going to work out for me. And you looking in hindsight, you can see that yes, it did work out for me. I didn't know how or when or why or who was going to be involved,
Yeah.
but somehow it's going to work out. And that's the whole point of the flip side.
Yep.
There's something good out of this,
Yeah.
something positive. God just look for it sometimes.
Mhm. And so, when Diana and I talk about the flip side, hopefully these stories, like, yes, it's entertaining. You get to know us a little bit better. You also witness the struggles that we go through, and hopefully you begin to see we're giving you evidence that all of the
Yes.
stuff that we are going to then step in and talk about, that all of it works. And
Right.
that's the whole, so,
It's
we're saying,
practical.
yeah.
Hopefully, these are practical examples where you see how it works for us. Now, you may not have the exact same situation, but it's the attitude more than anything.
Mhm.
It's the how am I going to think about this? How am I going to react to this? How am I going to make this a more positive path? And I think that's where I went to positive path instead of flip side because it all kind of works together.
Yeah. Well, like I said, this is evidence of the stuff that we're teaching in the positive path.
Yes.
They go together hand in hand. So,
Okay, and I have a public service announcement real quick before we go to the positive path.
okay.
So you guys have been kind of following along with the story of my daughter Annie was in Florida and she sold her townhouse, and Samantha used her realtor hat to help us find a referral of someone wonderful to work with in West Palm Beach. Now, Samantha had never been to West Palm Beach, but she did all the research and she found the perfect realtor for Annie. And she worked out really well. Annie listed her house. It sold a week later. A month later, it closed. Everything went as the best that it could have. It was stressful. The whole thing was stressful, but having Trish, it was the realtor, was wonderful and made it so much easier. So the public service announcement is if you need a realtor, no matter where you are, Samantha can help you find a good one. I don't know how she did it, but she's a wizard at that. So let her help you.
And using my spidey senses. So, if anyone is in West Palm Beach and they need a real estate agent, I've got a great one to recommend. But then again, depending on who you are, I might suggest someone different. But there's a
Right.
really good one down there. Just reach
Yes.
out and I'll let you know.
Yes. Do.
Thank you so much. That was
You're
really
welcome.
sweet.
You made it so much easier, and I'm so happy that we asked you to help with that because that could have been a serious nightmare.
Yeah, who would have known? Like, and it just
I
was
don't know.
such a great experience.
Yes, it really
Yeah.
was all the way
Oh,
through.
yay. Okay, so we're stepping into the positive path. Okay. Um, Now with the positive path, we are going to talk about, obviously, this is coming out on New
New
Year's
Year's
Day.
Day.
So,
You might not be watching it on New Year's Day, but it's supposed to come release on New Year's Day.
yes, exactly. And even if,
Happy New Year.
yeah.
Happy New Year.
So even if you catch this late, you can still get involved and do the program that we're going to be talking about for the what do we call it, for the weekly Wanderlust. All right,
Yes.
so this is all about New Year, New You, 2024. Woo! And so this is um, we all talk about our resolutions. Like, I'm gathering my thoughts together. How do I want to introduce this? We all talk about our resolutions, and how on this day, and I know Diana and I've talked about this on another one, but anyway, we talk about how we're going to, you know, this year is going to be different. We're going to do all of these kinds of things. I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm going to start drinking more water. I'm going to start
Be
writing.
nicer to my sister-in-law, be who, whatever. Yes.
Yeah. And so, what we're going to be talking about is, when you do this kind of stuff, you can't force it. You can't make it to happen. You have to find ways to implement it, to integrate these changes into your life. And if you're telling yourself, I'm going to do something, which I habitually don't do or haven't done before, but this year I'm going to commit myself, you're fighting, like you're swimming upstream. You're fighting an uphill battle
Yeah.
because there are reasons why you haven't done it in the past. And so, we want to look at what are these things that are stopping you from having the life. Like you've got to imagine what it is you do want, and then you need to understand, well, what's holding me back, and investigate that, and be able to release from it. So then you can then move forward. But then you also have to figure out, how am I going to integrate? What are the steps I need to take to integrate these actions into my life? That's a
Which
lot.
is, yeah, and that part of it is where I think people fall down sometimes.
Mhm.
Um, we know it takes 7 days to get momentum going and 30 days to form a habit and whatever.
Mhm.
That's a long time.
Yep.
So if we can do some of these things to release and get in the right mindset for it, I think that will make it easier.
Yep, exactly. Well, so I'm going to go ahead and talk about what this program is, and then
Yeah.
we'll explain a little bit more into it. But this is free. First off, everyone needs to know this is, what do they call it? It's freemium. You ever heard
Premium.
that? Premium, meaning it's a free premium offering. I call it, like, people could say, oh, it's a workshop, it's a course. To me, it's a journey. I like referring to these things as a journey. So this particular journey is called the Positive Energetic Blueprint. And okay, I'm going to read what the description is that I have, so it'll be easier instead of me.
Before you do that, though,
Sure.
just know that most of the time, these workshops or whatever you want to class, whatever you want to call it,
Mhm.
um, are a premiumly charged course. Like this is for free. You're giving of yourself, and
Mhm.
I'm coming along for the ride. Um, because that's what our podcast is all about. Sure, we'd love for you to buy some stuff sometimes. We'd love for you to, use Samantha's services or our affiliate marketing or whatever.
Mhm.
But really, we're here to give back, forward, sideways, whatever we can do to be helpful.
Mhm.
And so just know that this is of a great value, but yet free to you.
Yes, I like that.
Yeah.
Um, and just know you do need to join um, the KISS, Keep It Simple Sister, Facebook podcast group. You do need to join that to be a part of this. So if you're seeing this on YouTube, well, of course you'll see it on YouTube, or you're hearing this somewhere else or whatever, then there'll be a link down at the bottom for you to go over and join the group. And that's important so that you can sign up and be a part of it. All right.
That gives you the access.
Yes. Okay, so the Positive Energetic Blueprint is a process that is designed to help you recognize where you are in each area of your life and where you want to be. The process then takes you through several steps to realign your desire to reflect that which you most desire. I know it sounds confusing. It's not. This is a blueprint, a roadmap from which you can then identify, reflect, and motivate yourself to move toward the direction that you most desire. You will create daily processes to reinforce that which you most desire. So there is some homework. I've got desire in there a lot. Sorry, you guys. Like, I
Yeah,
might even
I think
rewrite
we need
that
a thesaurus or Jeeves to work on that just a tad
thing.
bit.
Yeah. Okay. So each day, so this is a self-guided. The first part of it is self-guided. each day, a new module will open up to work through. So you're going to take time out of your schedule for the day. You want to find quiet time where you can focus on what the lesson is. And it's not going to take much time. Some of it might take 10 minutes, some of it might take 30 minutes, some of it you might have to come back to. It depends on how many areas of your life you want to work on:
Okay.
career, relationships, love, health. If one of those is going great, or if there's only one little thing you want to tweak, great. If it's a whole massive overhaul, then it's going to take you more time. So I always tell
Right.
people, at least choose one area of your life. But if you want to do all of them, do all of them, but at least choose one.
Well, and am I right in thinking that if you chose one or two, you can come back and do the same process with
Oh, yeah.
something else later too, right?
Yeah, you'll have all the tools to do that. Sure. So then you're going to read through whatever the information is that's given to you for that day, and um, there'll be documents in there that you can download to then write down the steps, that the homework essentially,
Uh-huh.
and then there's an opportunity for you to upload it to me. You don't
Oh,
have to, but if you do, I will take a look at it and I will comment back to you. In the Facebook group, I will be sure to mention, not yours in particular, but hey, I've seen a couple of people have responded like this. If you dig in deeper, you'll get more out of it.
uh-huh.
So those who are willing to play with me a bit on this and upload the homework, then I can give you more targeted feedback, which is taking a lot more of my time, but I want this to be successful for you. I want you to walk into and through and on the other side of this process, feeling like you've really gained some serious knowledge, some awareness that you can really work with.
Yeah.
So you're going to work through it each day, upload the homework if you choose to. It'll start it starts on, well, I'll talk about that in a minute. But anyway, it starts on a Sunday and it ends on a Saturday. The Saturday will be the last module that'll open. And it's also going to be the more intense module, in the sense that you're going to be committing to the integration of these ideals. And so I wanted to do a live Zoom that'll be in the afternoon on Saturday. And again, I'll mention all of this at the end. Um, so that'll be on Saturday, and for whoever wants to attend, you'll get a lot more out of it if you have a chance to talk about it. So I'll present it, I'll give some ideas, we'll go back and forth. So it's going to be kind of a workshopy kind of thing,
Uh-huh.
and I think it's going to be fun.
I do too. And I will definitely be there.
Yeah.
I'm going to do the whole thing. And I was looking at my schedule because we were talking about when the different modules were going to open, and I do have a few things going on during that week. So if I can't do step 2 on the day that step 2 opens, the next day will be step 3. I'm going to try and double up and do 2 and 3 together. So it's not like you have to be available every single day. It
Hmm.
might be easier. It might be smaller chunks if you can do it that way.
Yeah.
Um, but as we're going through, you just want to finish everything up till that last step before the live,
Hmm.
correct?
Exactly. Yep.
Am I on the right track? Okay.
That would be ideal. And so then we'll have the live and go over that last step. And then, because I want to do this, it means a lot to me, then probably in about a week or 2 weeks, I'll probably suggest another live for whoever is taking this serious and really wants to tweak things and see how the integration is going. I want to offer a little bit more of that support.
Love
So,
it. Yeah.
I want to describe the steps because it
Well,
sounds.
I was going to say, my question was going to be like overall. Yeah, go ahead and describe the steps, because then maybe I'll have more questions.
Do not
Like,
forget that question.
okay, I'll try not.
Women of a certain age.
Okay.
Okay, so the modules are the various steps. So just so you know,
Okay.
so step one is new paradigm you, and this is basically where you're envisioning all of the things that you want your life to be, what like the new version of yourself.
Okay, so the word paradigm was new to me a couple months ago. Seriously, like I never really used it.
Mhm.
But basically, paradigm is how you see things, correct?
It's your structure of the world. Yeah.
Your structure, how you see the world, and each one of us sees the world a little differently than someone else.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep. And so like you might perceive your relationship as feeling like one thing, and someone else is, they can look at your relationship from the outside and think, well, no, it's this. And
right.
yet, anyway, it's different ways of perceiving, and those perceptions are what create. They can create that openness and flow, or they can create the bars that create the cage of your life.
Yeah. So the word paradigm is the SAT word of the day.
Yes.
And you just did a
Good to
very good job of explaining what it is. Okay, go ahead. Because I know you're going to mention it again. So I want to make sure everybody understands what paradigm
So funny.
means.
And so then in step two, you're going to clarify your desire. So you're going to take the new paradigm, the ideal of how you see your life, and you're going to get clearer about it. Okay.
Okay.
And there'll be instructions all the way through. Step three is going to be old versus new paradigm. This is where we're going to examine some of the blocks.
Okay.
Okay. Step four, addressing emotions and perspective. So there's two parts to this. There's going to be two separate days devoted to addressing your emotions and perspective, because your emotions are, you can say, well, I, for instance, new paradigm me is going to feel great and wonderful. And then that sounds great, but you want to clarify your desire. Okay, well, new paradigm me um, can try on any clothes and feel great. Like, that it's fun to go, or, well, you said there, I can try on any clothes, right?
Yeah.
I should define that a bit more because I'm seeing it and I'm not defining it. Like going into the department store and being able to go into any section and try on clothes, because most of us go, okay, where are the big girls stuff,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, so then step three is the old versus the new paradigm. And so that's you going, well, this is how I've been, and this is where I want to be. Like, so you're acknowledging that this is how you have been for
Just
the
to see
past
things
year
and
or
feel
years.
about things. And yeah.
So, in addressing the emotions and perspective, back to that, um, it's now we're getting into your feelings, because as we talked about with law of attraction and so forth, we are creator beings. We create the reality we're experiencing. This might be to some people, and we do that through the mechanism of our emotions. Our emotional states create our vibrational state. I mean, that equals the same. And
Yeah.
so if you're in an upbeat position, whatever vibrational aspect of yourself, you are going to be drawing more positive things to you than if you're
Right.
in that negative space. So we've got to make you aware of how you feel about these physical states, these physical experiences that you're having. Okay, and then step six is the new paradigm summary. So now we've defined all of this. We're going back to what that new paradigm, you was in step one, and we are now doing a summary on it. And then step seven is mastering your positive energetic blueprint. So this is the integration part, where you're going to decide what are the daily, weekly, monthly activities I need to do to support and create a sustainable um, plan of action, so
Yeah.
that I'm actually carrying through on these things I most desire. It's
That's going to be fun.
it's
I'm excited about it.
fun. Okay,
I really am. And I think that I just hope everybody wants to join us and get involved in it, because sometimes when you look at something new like this, you're like, that sounds like a lot of work. But this is work that's going to help you feel better, feel great,
yeah,
feel, like just live a happier, more comfortable life,
yeah,
more where you're in more of a positive state a flow state,
Mhm.
where you're feeling good.
A big one for me is the resilience. Like when you move into that, okay, we know that life is challenging. It's
Yeah.
meant to be that way because it tests us. That's the mechanism of growth.
Yeah.
And so, you know, we know life is challenging, and we know that if we get a good night's sleep, if, we are even half-assing our food intake and stuff, that that whatever however well you're taking care of yourself, you have so much energy in your reservoir, so much that you can deal with in a day.
Yeah.
And then, if you have kids, maybe the kids start screaming, they don't want to go to school. That, depletes you a little bit. And
Yeah.
then, your husband says something, or your boss says something throughout the day, or customers are arguing with you, and you're getting down lower and lower. And so each thing that occurs that's contrasty is taking out that much energy or whatever that can buffer you from getting to this point where you lose your shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because so this is your resiliency zone. When you get
Uh-huh.
to here, that's when you are just like losing it. And you're kind of looking at yourself like, who is this person who's yelling? What is going on here? And when you constantly keep hitting this state, and, it's like sooner or later, this is when you start getting into those lower vibrational states of being. That's when the depression sets in, because then you're waking up and like you don't even have hardly anything up here. You are
Right.
now operating like below. And
Yeah.
so all of this that we want to share with you, it's to increase that, because look at that. Like if you have gotten yourself to a point where this is where I can't take any more shit. I'm done. And this is, you've now learned how to build yourself up to here. You have more resilience because it's going to get you throughout the day, and there's different tricks that Diana and I teach that will bounce you back up, but you're still going to be dropping low. And those little tips and tricks, will kind of keep you doing this thing throughout the day, even if you take a
Where
low
you
hit.
don't get to that bottom,
Yep. Yep.
or if you're getting close to it, you can move a little bit farther away from it.
The
So,
shit
yeah.
hits the fan zone.
Yeah.
It's because it's resilience is everything. Like it is, you talk about the training that they do for like Green Berets, or,
Yeah.
the SEAL teams and stuff. All of it is resiliency training. How much can you dig from yourself? How much can you persevere? How much? And the thing is, they don't teach you that in school. We take
Right. In
bullying.
real life.
Yeah, we get hit by bullying, we get hit by people yelling at us, being impatient, and then we take our own hits. The guilt trips we give ourselves, the not good enough feelings, the all of
Yeah.
that. But if they trained us on how to be resilient, we'd be in such a more beautiful state of being. We'd be kinder to each other, and then we'd be like lifting each other
And
up.
it doesn't come naturally to most people.
And
It's a skill. It's a skill that you need to be taught, and you need to practice, and you need to, view as something important. So
yeah, it
I
has to
agree.
be. Well, like they say, happiness it's a state of being. You have to choose it. It's
Yeah.
not something that like somebody can come along and they can move you into that state, but you have to choose to allow it to infiltrate you, to
Yeah.
overtake you, and the thing, when you begin to choose it more like readily, then anybody that comes along, they can just say one little thing and you're smiling, you're laughing, you walk in already in that state of whatever happens, I'm bumping it up. I'm going to be even more like you're choosing and
Well,
acting.
it's expectation. It's expectation. Like
Yes.
I wake up in the morning and I expect I'm going to have a great day.
Yeah.
And then somebody, the hits start coming. And then I'm like, all right, I'm not going to let this ruin my day because I already decided I'm going to have a great day. So now what can I do to make this a little bit better? What can I do to make this not affect me as negatively as it could?
Yeah.
What
Okay.
can I think about? What can I imagine? What can I do? How can I feel?
hmm So I got to give this disclaimer to everyone.
Okay.
Diana and I were born the same year, 2 days apart. We were born Aries. Aries are the baby signs. We naturally have a high level of optimism, but my mother did say that when I was young, I was so moody. I was so incredibly moody, unsatisfied with everything, and that was the childish aspect of Aries. And growing into utilizing all of these tools and everything, has helped me to latch on to that more optimistic side of Aries. But and I know I don't know about any other signs. I'm not an astrologist, but I know myself and I've studied that kind of stuff. So we have a slightly unfair advantage in that, we can also get pissed off, and be in
Oh,
that,
real bad, real
yeah,
fast,
fiery
and look
state.
out.
But we do have this, like, I wake up every day. You described it as you're going to have a great day. I wake up every day just feeling like it's Christmas. Something is going to happen, something really cool. I don't know what it is, and I won't know until the end of the day. But when it happens, I'm like, oh, it's Christmas,
Well, and the whole law of attraction thing is if you expect it, that's what you're gonna get.
Hmm.
If you expect Christmas every day, it's gonna be Christmas every day.
There's gonna be something. Well, it reminds me of my mom. I'm just to share this real quick. That when we would I used to go to cocktail parties with her when I was like 16 years old, because my parents were going through their separation, and so what does a 16-year-old have to say to anybody in an adult party crowd? And she would
Right.
say, "Okay, so here's the thing. Everyone has a story to tell. So she made me separate from her. Each of us are going to go and meet as many people as possible and see who has the best story at the end of the evening, and that person wins."
That's cool.
And so I learned to be like, think of the excitement there, So I looked at any gathering, as there was always someone so interesting I was meant to meet. Like that
That's cool.
I would have something that I would come back with. Again, that's that, when I go and enter into a situation, there's something exciting that's going to happen, something meaningful. So it's that expectation.
Yeah.
And it all comes from these integrations, these expectations that we develop into our life so that it's like all of this works together. It gets the train
Yeah.
rolling.
And it becomes a habit. It becomes muscle memory. It becomes the way you do what you do.
Mhm.
What the weekly wanderlust is.
To sign up, don't be afraid. Don't, like, just go for it. Just try it. You can always give up if that's what you've got to do.
Right.
Give it a try because it might just be that one thing that shifts, like, the rest of the year, the rest of your life. You have absolutely nothing to lose except for putting in a little bit of time and a little bit of emotional mental effort. So the way you sign up is you go and join the KISS podcast group.
And if
Um,
you're already a member, then what?
yeah, if you're already a member, I've already got a post in there, and I'm going to make sure that it's pinned to the top.
Uh-huh.
And if you just comment below that you want in, then I will make sure, like, I keep updating. I don't know if you've noticed it, but I keep updating like, I have these people on my list so far. And so that they know, yep, I got you and you're in. So I keep updating that one post with
Okay.
anybody who wants to be in it so that everybody knows who's going for it. We can all support one another. Um, and this is something that, you can talk about in the group. So go out and invite friends. Tell friends they got to join
Right.
this in order to be a part of this freemium offer, to do the positive energetic blueprint. And so just so you know, so once you're added to that list before the course starts, I will then add you. You'll get an email to join my membership vault, and in the vault, it'll, like, you'll be in this space. Like, you'll go to the website, make sure that you bookmark it so that you can easily go back to it. Because I have to decide if I'm going to send reminder emails or just put reminder emails in the Facebook group. because I don't want to handhold people. Like if they want to do it, they're going to show up,
Right.
you
I
know?
think the reminders in the Facebook group is good.
Okay. And so once you're in that space, like on day one, the module will unlock and you will see it. And I'll tell everybody in the Facebook group, module one's open, go for it, you know?
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, and that's it.
Okay, well, that's exciting. I'm excited about it. I hope everybody's excited.
Well, I hope so too. And anything else? I think that pretty much,
I think that's it.
get ready for Diane. Like Diana and I are we're going to be talking a lot more about emotional, mental, physical health. We're both diving deep into that this year. It's a big theme of ours.
Uh-huh.
So we're going to be sharing a lot more of that with you and kind of, I'm trying to figure out the right way to say this. He, we're going to be sponsoring our own podcast by sharing a lot more, like taking some time to share with y'all the different things that we're doing that you can, if you want, you're interested, you need more money, or you need something to help you with your health. We're going to talk a lot more about that coming into the new year. So we're going to be sponsoring ourselves in that way because we
Yeah.
do give a lot of our time with all of this and we want to give a lot of our time, but we also need to have a little bit coming back in order to make it easier. You said it better than I did in one of our podcasts, and I can't
I
remember how
don't
you said it,
I
but
don't know what I said, but
it was lovely.
and normally podcasts are sponsored by sponsors that they pay some money for you to talk about their whatever. So I like how you're saying we're sponsoring ourselves. I think
Yeah.
that's good. Yes. And
Yes.
also oh gosh, I just lost it. Probably not important.
Oh,
It's all right.
oh,
It's okay. Oh, I know what it was. If there are topics that you want us to talk about, like we just kind of brainstorm and think, well, this is something that would help people. This was something. But if there's a specific problem or not even a problem, just something that you might want our take on,
mhm,
feel free to shoot us a message because we always love having more and different ideas of what we want to talk about.
exactly. A lot of them overlap each other because these concepts overlap and you need to hear them over and over and over again
Yeah.
in different ways in order to learn how to integrate. And a lot of our ideas come from, well, what happened last week? What feels like the next logical thing to talk about and so forth.
Yeah.
So and maybe we can open it up to questions and have, like, once we get a list of 20 questions, we do a podcast that's devoted to 20 questions
Oh,
that are
I like that. That's a great
that
idea.
kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and lastly, I just want to remind people, I do want to start this membership group where it's not just that I'm talking, it's that we're all working together. And so I'm addressing your needs via spiritual life coaching, which simply means learning how to live a better life and using these principles of law of attraction and so forth in order to create that better life. Um, and I wanted to start at the beginning of January, but I want enough people to be ready and to be involved. So I am going to put an interest list in the group and start developing interest. So I'll mention this a bit more to get that going. And signups
Good.
are still available. There is still room to sign up for the Zen Tarot, which is the 5-week intuitive development course that is utilizing tarot to help you develop that relationship, that love language with your guides.
Love it.
I think that's everything.
And if it's not, we'll put it in the comments below.
Yes. Okay, everybody.
All right.
Wrap it up.
And this is my princess wave. Yes, I keep getting criticism, and I'm going to turn side to side as if I were a princess.
Well, have a
See you
great
next time.
day. Bye.
Bye.